Hello, BookTube. We're back for Friday Live, and it looks like we have somebody here already. Hi,
Ah,
Aaron.
the usual suspect. All right, Aaron.
Have you continued the story?
Oh yeah, ShawnDStandfast.
But yeah, so and well, this week we don't have a lot for Friday reads for the week. I have not read much.
Yeah, I've read a bit, but I haven't finished anything, which is a bit appalling, really.
Groovy Pop Tart. Hello.
Hello.
So yeah, do you want? I guess we might as well just jump in on that. It says there's only one person here.
Well, Aaron probably ducked out
Yeah, he
because we
must. Oh
weren't
no,
there.
now there's
So
two. Now there's two. It
you
takes
know,
a long
he
time
probably
for.
missed our bit about ShawnDStandfast and his adventures. Yeah, all right. I'll start then. Why not? Technically, I've read some of this week, but I think it was like 2 chapters, and it was on Sunday, maybe Saturday. Um, Enjoying it. It's good fun. Like I said last time, I know you're much further ahead, so I'll let you talk about it more. The thing that's occupied most of my attention, I've still got two 100 pages to go, and that's Lost Illusion by Honoré de Balzac, and I really like it. And what I like about it, and I'm getting this theme, from him and from, all right, Gareth,
I
and
guess.
from Hugo, is that as someone who enjoys history, and certainly someone who enjoys more, as I've got an older, social history, I think that these novels are kind of invaluable sources on social history, because when you think about how much of the book is dedicated to how the publishing industry was run, how journalism worked, I mean, it's so terribly corrupt, and it's just fascinating, isn't it? Can you hear me? Or
Yeah, I could hear you. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's fascinating, isn't it? How he goes into how how the journalists and things make people make money, and how the printing industry works at the time. So I think as it has some merit as a document of social history, almost, don't you think?
The Levison inquiry would have a field day with that. Like, with
Yeah, I mean, all the writing, like writing the articles for different newspapers under different names, and then arguing, the one journalist arguing with himself across different columns, and signing different names and all this kind of stuff.
well,
It's
it's like book review. Like you write a book review, say this book is absolute crap.
Yeah,
Then you go to the next paper and praise it and say he's full of shit.
yeah, it's the same
And
person.
yeah, but it creates a buzz and people want to read it.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
there you go, and they get paid to do that. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Jenny. How are things in the post office?
Well, there should be two
um,
things, Groovy Pop Tart: Lost Illusions and Mysteries of
and
Paris.
Mysteries of Paris. And actually, I have to say, although I made a mistake because I'm such a fool. I've read something else this week, two things this week, but I haven't read them or finished them. For Historathon, I've been reading the second Xenophon book we've been doing, which is History of My Times. We did, what was the other one? We
I
did,
know.
well, it's, you'll know it as Hellenica, probably. And we did Anabasis a while ago. But that's good. I mean, people were worried in our group. I'm in a small group with John David and Stephanie and Vin from Revenant Reads. Were worried it was going to be a lot drier than the other one, and actually, I'm enjoying it. But they've all got the landmark, I think, the landmark translation.
I
So
know.
maybe it's a bit different. And then, I don't know if you're doing it this month with us, because you're still in the Gothic group, is
Yeah,
James Hogg's
yeah, I will be.
um,
Yeah.
confession, no, memoirs and confessions of a justified sinner, if I got it right
That
way
one.
around.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, nobody's mentioned it. So I thought I'll start reading it. and I read probably, I don't know, maybe 60 pages, and I really like it. I have to say, it's actually really good. And then I realized we're not due to start it till the 12th, so I put the brakes on it. Went back to Lost Illusions. So yeah, you've never hated it more than today. Oh my goodness! I wonder what happened today to make it worse than normal. I would have thought Christmas would have been a terrible time to be in the post office. So
Yeah. And say things like that still go on. It's not uncommon for newspapers to swap articles with their rivals and put a different journalist's name on it if the owner wouldn't like it in the paper. Like it's kind of thing, and it's there's so many things that you read in these books, especially I don't know, I don't read it so much in the English stuff, but in the French ones you go, yeah, that happens still. So many things. It's not just one thing. It's like you could make a list of things that are still happening today, usually not good things.
It's like the whole thing, like they're forcing him to choose a political side, and none of it's based on any ideological persuasion at all. It's all based on self-advancement, and the royalists or whatever will ensure that the reinstatement of his his mother's aristocratic family name and perhaps a title and all this kind of stuff. And but I really don't like Lucien, the main character, though. I have to say, I've actually started to hate him, especially because he's the point in the book, he's starting to fall down again now, because he rose up and now he's kind of getting addicted to gambling and he's in debt, and all this stuff. But it just annoyed me so much because there's no mention at all of him when he had quite a bit of money coming in, of him paying back his family.
Well, he did send 500 francs, I think. He did send some at one point. He did send some.
Yeah, no, he did, but that's when he was still poor. That was like his
first. It was his first amount of money
he got. Yeah, the first amount of money he got from something or other. He did. That's true. But then when he was living it up and he's living with his mistress and all this stuff, and it just doesn't mention his family at all. And I'm just thinking of them in Angoulême, trying to make ends meet, having given him their last sou, and it's just it's pissed me off, to be honest. Excuse the language.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah, it's a great book. Yeah, you probably can't see it, but it's up there in one of the green backed ones there, the modern classics. It's good fun, that.
Yeah, I'm trying to, because the sequel to this, well, it's been under many names. It's Lost Illusions. Lost Illusions is the Penguin called it Harlot High and Low. And you'll find out what, like, but I can't remember it. I'm sure I've read it, but anyway, I might not have. But that's also called Lost. What is it? Lost Ones, I think.
Lost Souls, isn't it?
Lost Souls. That's it. Yeah. That's and there's 2 or 3 other names that's been translated as well. But that should be interesting to read on the back of this. Definitely. But yeah, no, it's just the character is not likable. There's like none of those characters in Paris are really likable at all, because they're all duplistic. Is that right?
Duplicitous.
Yeah. They just they'll do one thing but do another. However, you will find out that one of them comes through for him later. So, but
well, I don't know. I could probably guess it's that one of his friends from the authors group that he abandoned, probably D'Arthez or someone like that, maybe. But that lot, but that lot I hate anyway, because they're like espousing kind of almost the nobility of their poverty, as it were, and trying to drag him down with them, as it were, or trying to keep him in poverty, which is frustrating for me. Well, so it's like he
a little bit, and they know that he has some talent. Like, he started out, like, the first poems that he was writing for his sort of hope for mistress were absolutely atrocious, and they were funny, but she was thinking that they were great. But then and when he gets there, he when he starts writing these articles, well, you don't really, well, you do get bits of the articles. That's the thing, and it's actually, yeah, they are actually very clever. Like they are. There's a bit, and there's poetry too. He fixes up the what's um
The
this
Marguerites.
yeah, like what type of poems are those? I forget now.
Sonnets.
Sonnets, yeah. Like, he does fix those up, and it's like, oh yeah, they start working now better. He becomes a better writer, but he
Yeah, I
becomes a
mean,
worse.
but a worse person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hi,
Alexis.
Alexis.
Yeah, it's yeah. A lot of times it is. It's the bad things that are sort of remembered and not really the good things so much. But yeah,
It's
I
true.
just love Balzac. I don't know. Probably the very first one I read was Pere Goriot, but and I thought, yeah, that was good. But then I think I might have read Lost Illusions next, and I'm glad I did, because if I didn't, I might not have continued reading him. Uh, Pere Goriot is the one that everybody says is so great, but I don't think it is. Like I don't find it as engaging as the other ones that I've read.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a few people, moan a little bit about all the asides and tangents again, a bit like with Les Miserables, but it's to me that it's just fascinating.
Yeah, well, except
Really
like his
fascinating.
paper, like he says, well, we're gonna do a little digression here about paper, and
Yeah.
it's like 3 or 4 pages, and I go, I want more, I want more. But yeah, so you're finished. That's what you've read. Yeah,
I'm finished. We did actually better than last week, even though we didn't finish anything. I think our whole Friday reads was around 10 minutes last week, wasn't it?
yeah.
So,
Well, I on Saturday. Well, I think I started in the evening this one last Friday, but I
mhm.
read it on Saturday. The Conscience of the Rich is the third Strangers and Brothers book, but the seventh written, but it's the third chronologically. And each of them, they dovetail with the previous book. So there's things like for time wise, it's like, it even says in there that we'll talk about this, and it's more about his friend um, Charles and his family, and his relationship to it from late 20s to the 30s, and they're filthy rich. Like they are, well, they're very rich. Let's put it that way. They have servants, and they've got a servant that comes in, a special servant to wind the clocks. That goes around, that has the key to their house and everything. That just comes in once a week to wind the clocks. And then the one daughter says, where I think where Lewis, pours, or takes a bath, and he runs the water for himself, and the daughter, she says, I don't think I've ever done that ever myself. She's always had somebody else, run the water for her, and then there's like, it's called the Conscience of the Rich, because there's a few things that happen, and it's a clash between the rich and 1930s socialism a little bit.
Okay.
And there's
Mhm.
somebody that comes in, and it's really good. Like I mentioned to somebody else, and they said, oh, it's a soap opera, and I'm going, well, no, because these things sort of happen, but it's a dramatic thing that happens, and the father in some ways sort of wishes that his daughter-in-law will actually die, because then with her will, the scandal that's about to break might die as well. you know yeah, because he didn't like her.
Wow.
uh hey, they're
They're
talking
just
between
chatting
themselves.
to each other.
uh yeah, Alexis watched your Monday live.
Oh yeah, with Brandy, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then I started, or I went to look at, because like I was supposed to read two mammoths this month, and William Gaddis's The Recognitions, and
Or
I
be careful,
it's all
Alan's
my
on here.
fault. It's all my fault, because I just don't like the style of writing, and I normally I have never sort of DNF'd a book before or something, because I'm usually really careful that if it's an author I don't know, I'll pick it up and look through. And if it's short and I said I'd read it, like, under 400 pages, I could do it. But 950 is, I just couldn't commit myself to that. And it's my fault. So at some point it'll be only for the UK here. I'll be doing a giveaway for this. So anybody who, if anybody wants to put in dibs on it, I guess, let me know. But yeah. And then so I sort of toyed with it most of Sunday, and I still couldn't grapple with it. So I decided to pick this up like just before midnight on Sunday. And I read it, and I've got 100 pages left.
I've got like 1,200 pages left.
Yeah, well, like you say, it's like 1,400 pages. Well, it's 1,362 or something like that. But
that's 1,400 pages.
Yeah, but there's lots of blank pages every so often, like this, and chapters end with a blank page, so it's not even 1,300 pages. So yeah.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, you've started, but I'm not going to give any spoilers. It was just something that was written like over 150 episodes in the newspaper every week, I think it was. And you can tell that by this, because they'll recap occasionally something that's happened before, which is kind of funny. And sometimes I go, wait a minute, I don't remember it happening exactly like that.
Oh dear, you're in trouble again.
But I've conquered this one, though. I didn't do March of the Mammoths this year. Hopefully next year. Well, sped through that one. I don't take part in March of the Mammoths this year. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's a doubled one. I wouldn't even come close to say it's that. No, it's because of the style of writing. I don't like this stuff that just is navel gazing and is wordy and doesn't say anything. It doesn't work for me, especially not 950 pages of it. There's no way I would say it's a great novel. Like, I wouldn't even come close to it, but that's my opinion. It's just, and everybody can so people love it, and there's ones that I love and others don't. So but anyway, back to Mysteries of Paris. Yeah, it's
Steve's gonna say you're DNFing one of the great novels of the 20th century, and then you hold up a book that Steve's on record as saying is a pile of crap. So, and a waste of time.
It's a fun read. Like, it is
fun. Nothing, yeah, I have to say, it's like
there's nothing great. There's nothing great about this. Is great.
Yeah, it's not a great work of literature for sure.
Like
but
I say, it's very pulpy before pulps existed, and it's a story that goes on and on
and on and on,
and it adds to it. And there's like dozens of characters, and they start out with one little thing, and it's like a spider web that go out, but they're all connected. Coincidences and events happen, or it happened in the past, that connect them all. Basically connect it all to one person. Well, that's a spoiler, but you don't know who that is yet.
Unbelievable. I mean, it'd be so annoying knowing I've got 1,000 pages in front of me and you basically just spoiled it.
I haven't spoiled it.
What are you doing? Come here.
Alan's saying I'm reading the Recognitions and the Luminaries and Follett's the evening and the morning. Not read any Follett.
You've never read any Follett?
No.
Yeah.
Theme fighting words.
Them, I think, probably. Them's fighting words.
But yeah, no, like, it's just like I say, it is like very pulpy. It's like every week you could see people, really, really hanging on to this of what's going to happen, because, like, it ends in cliffhanger.
Alan would appreciate it. It's like an early 19th century crime version of General Hospital or something. The same kind of draw, I would imagine. It is a soap
he
opera.
ratchets up the sensationalism at times too. But then, like I said to you, Mark, before, that I think he changes the story a little bit, because he starts bringing in stuff, and he starts moralizing and preaching about poverty and crime and things like that. And that's where I think maybe Hugo actually got that idea from, because there are, like I was saying, if I've just reread in January The Count of Monte Cristo and Les Miserables, and there's scenes in here that are almost detailed, like right out of both those books, and some that are very similar.
But this was first.
Yes, yeah. So it's like, would you say that they plagiarized? I don't know. Yeah, Alan's right. Like that could be a help for it. Yeah, somebody with a really good voice could like it. But I don't know. Am I actually that's the thing. Am I DNFing the book? Because I haven't really read enough of it. I read like less than about 8 pages at the beginning, and then I go, oh, this writing is it all the way through like this? So I spent a long time, reading other bits of it, and then thinking about it, going back to it, and reread a few pages at the beginning, and I just realized I don't think I could do this for 950 pages. So I don't know if that's DNFing, because have I read it enough? Because
did you start it?
What?
Did you start it?
Yeah, but see, the thing is, I would pick something off the shelf in a bookstore.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's 100 pages. Well, it depends on the size of the book. So it's like 10% of the book. Once you're 10% in.
Yeah, Jenny, I would say Dumas and Hugo, definitely. Because Hugo actually has a lot more deeper emotional attachment to the characters and the scenes than these. These sometimes are a bit cold, like they're there, but they're almost caricatures. I don't know if you've seen that yet so far.
For sure. I said I forget who I was talking to. I mean, I might have mentioned it to you, but I was mentioning it to somebody else, and I basically think it's like a comic book without the pictures. That's how it's kind of written to me. Because sometimes the characters kind of say things to themselves where they give themselves narration to the actions they're doing, if that makes sense. It's like, in the beginning when Slash has been like knocked to the ground or something, he starts to like narrate the fact that he's been, you know what I mean? It's weird, but it's like a comic book without the pictures.
Yeah, or an old Universal serial where it just kind of goes on, and it's not that where it went. Well, Steve, see, the thing is, this was purchased for me, and the suggestion was to do a giveaway. So I might return to it someday, but I'll have to return to it another time. So it's been suggested, because it's not sort of mine to make a decision on. So it was suggested that I should do it as a giveaway. So that's what I'm doing. Otherwise, I might keep it for some other time, and I might be in a different frame of mind, or read something else that sort of works with this. But it just, yeah, I just don't like a style of writing, and some people, it just doesn't work for everybody. I don't think every style of writing. There's stuff that I've read that I love the style of writing, and people don't. So it's to each their own for that. I just, for me, I wouldn't say it's a great novel from what I've looked at it.
We were asked the question. We didn't bring it up. It was, I would have said Hugo, of course.
Yeah. But no, it's just fun.
It's fun. I mean, that's
it. Like I said right at the beginning, Mark, that when you said to do it, like I was saying, Don't expect high literature.
No, it's actually a fast read. Once you get into when you spend some time with it, you breeze through it because it's short chapters. It's fast paced. It's fine. But as a work of literature, yeah, it's
Yeah, well, I think like out of all three of those, it's sort of Victor Hugo, Alexander Dumas, and then and then Eugene Sue.
Of course, the thing is, I mean, I don't know about Omnipotent Poobah, whether he speaks or reads French. Steve does, I believe. So it would be interesting if none of us did, and we're saying this, and yet you asked a French person and say, "What? Eugene Sue is master. He's absolute master of the art." It's just crap translations.
Well, like you could just see Eugene Sue there going, the deadline for this week's thing is like at he wakes up at 10 a.m. with a hangover, and at 5 o'clock is the deadline, and he just sits there at his typewriter, ding 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 ding. There, don't even relook at it.
Yes, it is, Steve. That's why you're welcome with it. Oh, sorry, you didn't put that one up.
So this is well, how many writers, pre-1900 writers that were good writers, had syphilis? That would be an interesting thing.
Guy de Maupassant, Alphonse Daudet had it, didn't he?
Yeah. I didn't know Florida is banning Handmaid's Tale. I haven't read that yet. You don't feel dumb. You just feel like you should want to.
You can't, unless you're Steve, you can't have read everything. So, I haven't read apart from one Dostoevsky in my life, and now I'm the proud owner of like 15 of them.
Why is Omnipotent Poobah, typing in Greek here?
I'm saying that he does. But it's interesting because I sent you that thing yesterday about Zulu, didn't I?
Yeah, I didn't quite get that. Like, are they saying that to watch it, it's very pro right wing? Is that what they're saying?
They're saying it could. It's popular with right wing extremists, and therefore it should come with like a trigger warning, apparently. And the government has said, what is it? His name's William Shawcross, the person who was tasked with investigating these things, and he's compiled this list, and it's for a group called Prevent or Protect. I can't remember what it is, which is kind of to look at things in our culture that might be problematic and should be issued trigger warnings and all this kind of stuff. So Zulu was one of them. The Dam Busters film was another. And then to get Steve's blood up, because he said it was coming, the complete works of Shakespeare were also flagged.
So. And it's like Zulu is really an anti-war film. But
to say Zulu's racist means you've never watched it.
Yeah.
So.
And the thing is, there's lots of things that are popular with pro-Nazi groups and stuff like that. You wouldn't think. It's like they're not. Just because people like it doesn't mean that it says that. They're misinterpreting. And also they said yes, Prime Minister, or yes, Minister.
Yes, Minister, and yes, Prime Minister, and in the thick of it. And
that's to watch Yes, Minister and Yes, Prime Minister is to make sure you're aware of those people and be able to identify them. I haven't seen that.
Pop down to Steve's comment quickly while we're on the topic. I think it is. If it's the same William Shawcross, whose father was another Shawcross, and he's probably about 80, then it's the same one.
Alison, I would sort of say that it's like they do sometimes. The sentences they do sound like an ad at times, because it says a lot. Or I mean, there's a lot of words, but I don't really see much there. But I want to. But this scare me. It took me ages to get through it. What? I want to, but it took me ages to get
I
through.
think it's
Oh,
it
it.
to review.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Get through
What?
it.
What? Because it's just. Yeah. Well, there. You can read shorter stuff by Hugo.
Sorry, it's terrible seeing the comments early because I just saw Duncan's one at the bottom and it just made me laugh.
Also on that, yeah, with yes, Minister. Oh, 1984 as well. Okay. Off subject. Well, what's? Oh, Jesus! There's so many. Where did they come from?
I don't know.
Alexa says off subject, but I just found out that William the Conqueror was descended from Vikings. Explains a lot. Yeah.
Well, he was, because he was a Norman, and Norman means Northmen because they were the Vikings who settled in Normandy. So that's my little bit there for you.
To be fair, anyone who says they enjoy reading A Handmaid's Tale, she's no stylist. It's not fun. Worthy, yes. Yeah, I do not like Margaret Atwood. I don't like her style of writing. Again, this is somebody else. I don't like their style of writing. So, I'll read Handmaid's Tale because of what it is, and it's short enough, even if I dislike her writing. But if it was 950 pages or even 800, I doubt it very much. A lot of internet's right wingers are also just history obsessed to begin with. Correlation is not causation. Yeah. Well, thing is,
but, I think I'm quite history obsessed, but I wouldn't, at all think of myself as a right winger. So.
Yes, minister is problematic to the Tories because it portrays a non-functional government. You mean?
No, I think he's saying that it portrays a functional one in comparison to what we've got.
Oh,
so.
yeah, okay, yeah, comparison to what we got, yeah. Or where are the Humphreys? Today.
Well, they've gone to work for the opposition.
You're right that the piece of work doesn't define it. Yeah. The William Shawcross, who wrote the authorized biography of Queen.
Yes, Steve. I think it is. I mean, it doesn't say, but it's.
Aaron says it is the same one. So
it's the UK counter-terrorism report, and it's just a bizarre thing. It was started by the previous Home Secretary, and the current one has said she'll fully embrace it as well. It says William Shawcross was appointed to review Prevent, the government's counter-extremism program, in January 2021. Last week, his controversial conclusion that the program had concentrated too much on the far right and not enough on Islamic extremism was met with widespread condemnation. But then they went through and, as I say, yesterday, it was there that they were going to, they'd added, created a list of, I think, 39 shows, books, and things that they are problematic, including things like the Dam Busters and Zulu. I mean, if you want to annoy the British public, basically, is to I don't know, probably a lot of the young ones don't care, but it's to pick on two kind of films that are like institutions, really.
Well, see, the thing is, it almost sounds like they're going. Those films could be looked at as against right wingers and conservatives.
Well, I mean, who are the Dam Busters bombing?
Yeah, but therefore, but you question things like in Zulu. You question stuff. You question things. The conservatives, this conservative government, don't want people to question. So, are they saying that we don't want people to do that because they will start questioning things? So, therefore, we pretend it to be something else.
But I think one of the reasons they can do it with the Dam Busters, of course, is because of Guy Gibson's dog. What?
No, the government is under grave threat from moderate football commentators.
Well, because his dog, he called his dog, a word that's a racial epithet. So, yeah. Speaking of football commentators, I just saw before we came on that Gary Lineker's, stepping back from presenting Match of the Day, and Ian Wright has refused to go on the show because of it. It's an outrage, frankly, absolute outrage. Yeah, but it's political, Sean. It's nothing to do with football. It's this storm that's blown up over the what's it, Geocraftsman. My brother always loved the movie Zulu, and he grew up to be a right wing. Okay, well, yeah, but we loved also. That he also probably liked Transformers or something. Maybe I mean, you can't.
Yeah, I see. Like
people, it's like I love the film Gone with the Wind. I think it's a great film. I love it, but I'm not out there cross burning and saying nasty things to people, different colored skin, and
Yeah, well, you see, when I watched Zulu, to me, it showed me that like it's like the question what was happening and everything of saying that this was bad, this was really bad of what was happening.
There's one kind of really right-wing person in it, and that's Michael Caine's character, and he turned out in real life to be a bit of a right-wing loony anyway. And then you've got Stanley Baker, who's like a left-wing socialist Welshman. And, every time Michael Caine says anything that's derogatory to the Zulus, there's always another character that comes along and says, "Are you crazy?" Well, there's that great part in it, isn't there? When the Corporal Sheese, the guy with one leg, he's doing up his bandage, and the two Welshmen in there are saying something about Zulus this, Zulus that, and he says to them, "What do you two know about Zulus?" And they say, "Oh, bunch of savages, isn't it?" And he says, "What? How?" And he goes off and explains. So again, it just shows the ludicrousness of it. So it should actually be held up as an example of tolerance.
If yes, minister is something that defines you as a neo-Nazi, most of the postulates are going to be under watch. God explicitly commands genocide half a dozen times in the Old Testament. So, yeah. Well, it's also got incest. All sorts of things like that. So it's
see how boring books are going to be in the future. Not going to have anything in them.
Well, I was just thinking, like, to rewrite Jack and Jill went up the hill, and it's like going to be two non-binary children went up a hill.
Or Jack and Jack.
Yeah. People want to be
or Jill and Jill. Sorry, I guess they get in trouble.
Both right and left are busy trying to ban books. Yeah.
But I don't know about you, Sean, but I find myself it's a minefield. And when I made a video the other day, I wanted to just highlight the fact it was International Women's Day, right? So in the video, I'm like, and of course, I just want to wish a happy International Women's Day to you all. And then I thought, well, the women, of course, and maybe the men that, support them. And then I thought, if I say that, people construe that women can't be strong without men support. And then in the end, I just had to erase the whole thing and just say Happy International Women's Day to all you wonderful women out there. That's it. And then I thought, oh, should I say to everybody who identifies as a woman as well? Or, I can't take it anymore. I'm just not going to mention anything.
Oh, that's the other thing I was going to say about this. Going back to this about women in here. Bloody hell! The strength of women. Some of these women in here, like they're only 17 years old, and
Songbird.
Songbird. But then you haven't read Met Rigoletti yet.
I've heard her mentioned.
Yeah,
but don't forget the owl and the ogress. They're pretty strong women too.
Yeah,
I mean, was it with the owl like pulling out the tooth of poor old Songbird for eating the candy?
Yeah, no, it's Nietzsche died of syphilis. Okay, another one to add to the list. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole. Huh?
I'm lost there now. What he's referring to? So.
It's funny. So you have. I know it bores you, but it's just popped up on my news now that another England footballer, Alan Shearer, also pulled out of doing the program. So They're going to have nobody to present it. I did see Terry Christian talking about it the other day, and he said, "Well, the government should just go, go whole hog and have Nadine Dorries present that match of the day." What? It's political. I'm not talking about football.
No,
it just happens to be a
Nadine
football
Dorries.
program.
Nadine
Oh, right.
Dorries.
Okay.
Yeah, just mention. Oh God. She's sort of the MP of the county next to me or whatever. So
I'm not sure I agree with that, Aaron, because I don't think he's not a news broadcaster. He can say things, and also that I forget they highlighted a couple of cases where I forget who it was. Said there were two people who said things that were impartial, but the other way around, and nobody said anything. They were talking about it today in the paper.
one thing though,
he doesn't work for them anyway.
The women in here, the good women, are gorgeous and usually in their teens.
Yeah,
that's that's the only thing about it.
And the bad women are ugly and in their 40s
and old. But the characterization of them, okay, that's what I'm talking.
The caricatures.
The only way this censorship can be defeated is for it to be resisted. If we all avoid and self-censor, it wins.
Yeah, that's true. I need to do that. And Omniptum Hubar's right. They are in a tricky position, but their chairman made mistakes in donations to this. What was it? Was it a donation? What did he do? He loaned, didn't he? He loaned Boris Johnson allegedly £800,000 or something. Am I misremembering? But either way, it's very interesting if he calls Gary Lineker into his office and yeah, I don't know. The whole thing's just mad.
Yeah, well, the only thing, there's so many people. I know the BBC has gone downhill, but it's still got a structure there that it should not be destroyed and shut down, because you could still return it to what it was, because the structure, the foundation is there. You get rid of it, you'll never see its like again, ever. That's the bad thing. So it needs to be kept, I think.
Well, I mean, the thing they've done, have you seen what they've done with the David Attenborough program?
No.
He's got a new one starting this weekend, and it's a 6-part series looking at British wild Britain. And the 6th episode is all about everything we've lost in terms of our wildlife and everything like that. And the BBC is not broadcasting it because, of course, it's political. They're saying it's political, and it blames I suppose government policies and things like that for the fact that certain animals and plants and things have died off. And I think they're putting it on iPlayer only, but not on television. So,
well, one thing I find interesting is that every time there was stuff happening, a couple years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, every time there was things that were happening in the government that were sort of scandalous.
3 or 4 years ago? It's like 3 or 4 hours ago.
No. But this is when I don't know what's happened after that. But the BBC radio was always playing things like Yes Minister and Yes My Prime Minister. They would always repeat those during those times. And I'm thinking, not the iPlayer so much, but the other channels, the radio channel. And I thought that was interesting. And it's like somebody there still is sticking their finger in,
I don't know. It's just becoming frustrating.
You only have to watch Fox News for 3 analysis to realize how valuable. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I know all the problem because so many people are saying, get rid of it. But the thing is, you'll never see the light, and that's what they want. They do want it to be gotten rid of because the Conservatives know the danger of something like the BBC. They're using it now, but they'll be just as happy to see it gone, because then they can do whatever they want.
Well, it wasn't that long ago that they were berating the BBC for being full of lefties.
Yeah.
Lifties. See you later.
Nothing wrong with the windswept hairdo.
Yeah, it's not really windswept though, Jenny. It's just Mark's hand swept.
Maybe I should try to do with my hair is what is it? Split ends used to do that. They used to have the stand up, their long hair and hairsprayed. Oh, the problem is I'd probably die if I used hairspray.
Yeah, it has become my signature now. Well, Steve, be careful. Apparently, it's not censorship. Certain booktubers are saying that, this is not censorship.
It's not censorship. They're just taking out the words they don't like. Yeah.
And if you disagree with them, then you are a right-wing nutjob, apparently.
Yeah, you can't disagree with them. But they can disagree with you and everybody else, but you can't say that they're wrong.
Although they did specifically say that's not what they said, but it sounded a little bit like that to me. But hey ho, I'm not mentioning any names.
So what are you reading next week? Well, are you going to continue reading?
Yeah. Well, yeah. What do you think I'm reading next week? God, you can see like my bookmark is like there or something. Yeah. I'll be reading that. I'll be continuing with James Hogg, which I'm really enjoying. And I'll be continuing with that. I'll be finished Lost Illusions probably tomorrow. And then there's something else I feel I have to read. I do have... I was supposed to be reading The Maltese Falcon, but I read it in September, so I don't really need to.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if I need to... if I can continue with... I think either the Sackets or Hornblower will have to go, and I think it'll probably be at this stage the Sackets, because I'll stick with Hornblower because I'm just struggling with all of that really, and I'm really looking forward to the S&M book club, travel book club next month, and yeah, so I have to cut down. I don't think I can continue. I might in the summer. I might, because the Sackets are easy reads, so I'll have a chance to probably read like the 5 that I've fallen behind in, or the 4 that I've fallen behind in during the summer, and catch up by the end of the summer, and then continue again. I don't think it matters that much. So,
well, I probably won't tonight. I'll finish Mysteries, but then I'll wind up reading tomorrow morning probably the 3rd Sackets. And
the 3rd Sacket.
Yeah, that's the 3rd, isn't it? Yeah, it is the 3rd.
Yeah.
So they're all short ones.
Hang on. I wonder if I can. No, I can't do that. Hang on 1 second. Don't say anything. If I can put a link in there. I don't know if you can actually. You can't click links in the chat, can you? I don't know. I put a link in there to the BBC, the Guardian, talking about the what's it called? David Attenborough censoring. So
yeah, slavery wasn't so bad. They had somewhere to live, and discipline, like everybody needs, yeah, taken away from their horrible family. Yeah, slavery wasn't bad. Yeah, watch somebody take what I just said there and try to say something else.
Yeah, I was gonna actually use it, mate. I was gonna take a snippet of it and put it in my next video and say ShawnDStandfast is a racist and a slavery promoter, and allegedly.
Well, people don't seem to understand sarcasm these days.
And also, it's because they also just don't listen. They're quick to jump into things, make up their mind, and not listen to what.
Yeah, they hear, but they don't listen.
That's it. Yeah, and they hear what they want to hear half the time as well. Maybe we need one of those like cable news shows or something where we're two grumpy middle-aged plus white guys. We'd be perfect for that.
Well, so going back to books, it's sort of like this. I thought it was pretty good that what's his name? Was it Martin Amos? No, wait a minute. Mordecai Richler's son, Daniel Richler, did a sort of book show show on TVO. It's a public Ontario public television thing, and it was really, really good when he was hosting. It was really good, and then somebody made a complaint in that, and he read the letter that, oh, you flip around with the camera too much to other people in different angles. So while he was reading the letter, and while they continued the thing, the camera was going crazy, flipping around and stuff like this. And then they got more letters in complaining about it. And like they just didn't get it. The people just didn't get it. I thought that was good. In all cases, the underlying message is the same. Power cannot do wrong. Yeah. Mark Steve is just jealous because you can't get his hair to do all. What hair? Sorry, Steve.
That's not very nice. Just because you've got long locks.
Something that we when are we going to read this? This was suggested by your friend last week.
Yeah, we're definitely going to read that, I think, but I don't know when.
The name looked familiar, and that's what I went to look at my shelves, and yeah, I did have one.
Is that a Penguin Classics or what is it?
Yeah, it's a Penguin Black Classics. That's why I said I was sure there was one. A Portuguese. Is this Portuguese or yeah?
Yeah, he's Portuguese. Yeah.
Oh, Steve must know this one. This was something else that I found.
What? Because it's from 1927, or?
I sort of found it because I bought a whole bunch of Penguins, a couple years ago, and these are like 25p for the mass markets, and then for the 50p for the trades. And I never heard of this before. It's Spanish Farm Trilogy by R.H. Mottram.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, no, neither do I. I pulled it out to look at it. I do dare.
I like the way that you kind of, asked has Steve read it question without asking a has Steve read it question.
Whether
you're like, Steve, you might know this.
That, my friend, is one of the best Portuguese. Oh, okay. It sounds good. So yeah, we're gonna have to read that.
Yeah. Actually, just looking up the Spanish Farm Trilogy. It looks interesting, actually. It says it's an intricate portrait of the First World War from a civilian perspective of life lived against a background of bombardment and machine guns, and a stark portrayal of the intricacies and reality of love and romance during wartime. I was going to say it gets a fairly decent Goodreads rating of 3.86 stars. However, that's only 28 ratings, so it's obviously not a well-read book.
I'm not sure whether it's which one he says he's read. I'm surprised we can't rage from here.
I just saw his comment. I bet he did. And that's why you're welcome to our pro-syphilis discussion.
But no, yeah, it could be interesting. It's not that long. It's 500 and some pages, so an afternoon.
This one reviewer says a sort of goodbye to all that, written first from the perspective of the French peasantry, then from that of two British officers.
French peasantry?
Yeah, it's not a Spanish farm at all, because it's set in Flanders, right? So
okay, okay. It's false advertising. Throwing it away.
It was the Spanish Netherlands, maybe.
Oh, another one that I found that I'm gonna. This I'll be able to polish off. It's out of date, but what the hey? It's only 300 pages for the Historathon. The prehistory of Southern Africa.
Oh dear! What are you doing? Oh, okay.
There used to be a cinema here that was on the river. It was called the Flea Pit, I guess, because apparently yes, there was fleas in it. But the river floods every so often.
Yeah,
And then,
I'm just waiting for Steve to say Sean gave me a tour of his flea pit in the back room of the Leeds Odeon. You know?
but the river would flood, so the front seats were part time through the year were uninhabitable or unseatable, whatever the word is. I can't think of it now. My brain's not allowing me to. But I just go. It looked like a neat place. There would have been lots, and that would have been around 1927, and there had been lots of nice silent films there. Maybe they. Well, I think it was around 27. Maybe they played Napoleon there,
Maybe.
or Les Miserables. No, actually, not Les Miserables. It never. I saw the British premiere for Les Miserables, the 1925 version.
Yeah, you're that old.
That was only a couple of years ago. About 5 years ago.
Elvis.
Oh, what's the other ones that I found here? Oh yeah, well we got another Stendhal, Lucien Leuwen.
Oh yeah.
Alessandro Mazzoni, The Betrothed. Not read any of these. Benito Perez Glados, Fortunata and Jacinta, or I'm definitely screwing up the pronunciation, I think. What's the last one here? Oh no, that's Me Lost Illusions.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think you're right there, Steve.
Well, too bad. Because that's the thing. You remember next year we're going to do you're doing, I guess, and we are maybe is big books, The Source, Chesapeake Bay, The Covenant.
Yeah, Mitchiner.
Mitch, thank you. Yeah, thank you, COVID.
I keep forgetting that, you see, when I have all these big grand plans for the Russians next year and Mitchinathon comes up and bites me.
Yeah, but you see, also
it comes up and bites me in my flea pit.
And I'm also going to mention this now. So this is a pre announcement for archaeology next year that Mark Richardson and I are going to do.
I was going to say, I'm glad you said Richardson, because I was thinking, did I?
Where you read an archaeology book and then you read a fiction book that is something to do with that area, or that it can be a biography in that. So I'm going to do The Source. I'm going to combine it, do The Source with a Palestinian area, Holy Land archaeology book, reread The Covenant, and do a Southern African archaeology book. And I bet, I don't know, I'm not read Texas or anything like that. He might go into the prehistory of Texas too. So if he does that, then you could do something like that. You could combine a lot of them. I'm too literal and I'm not getting any of this, but that's okay. Jokes? Were we joking? Sorry.
Jeez.
Actually, yeah, I could be. I could very well be, because my grandmother's parents were Métis, and I got cousins that are, I think no, not first cousins, but apparently I've got enough Native North American blood in me to be considered full Native if I wanted to. Problem is, like, all that kind of stuff, you got to live, or at least it was, you had to live on the reserve in order to get the sort of things that were available, like free education and stuff like that.
So you're like you're kind of like a Pocahontas then, that you went from there to here.
But cuter.
Yeah. Was it Pocahontas? Pocahontas is what? She's the one who died in England.
I'm not sure if she died in England.
Not that you're going to die in England, rather, but
I probably will be.
under a mountain of books. Yeah.
I liked Mitchell. Oh, so you don't like him anymore, or no? That's probably just the. Yeah, the archaeology, and it's good.
Hey, Summer.
We've sort of decided this, like, it'll be a monthly thing, but it's like whatever you want. If you want, like, I might be doing Egypt one month because I've got a biography of Sir Wallace Budge I want to read, and then what I'll read is Agatha Christie's what is it, Death in the House, or whatever it is, the ancient Egypt one, the mystery one.
Death in the Nile.
No. There's one that she wrote from. It's in ancient Egypt.
I know there's Mesopotamia one, but where they're on the dig.
It's I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Right. And then I'll read a couple of the Elizabeth Peters, Amelia Peabody mysteries, because Budge actually shows up in there, I think. And then I think I've got a biography of Max Mallowan, so that could be for that. And then Death in Mesopotamia could be one.
I mean, I think I might read some archaeology on the basement of the old Odeon in Leeds, because a lot of stuff seems to have gone on there, so could be some interesting finds.
Well, you know what a coprolite is? Coprolite is a fossilized earth. So will there be other kinds of fossilized things there?
I have no idea, but that's probably a step too far. She did, yeah. So there you go. Yeah. Plucked from her native land.
Well, I think there was quite a few that probably were brought back and live. Didn't some actually become sort of kind of almost aristocratic? Like, did well, I think, but I'm not sure.
I'm just curious, Aaron. I don't. That's unusual. You got my name there. I don't usually mention my surname, do I? I must have done. I don't know. So
yeah, it's on there, so I put it on the screen for everybody to know now.
Yeah. Well, no, it doesn't matter. It's not a secret, but I very rarely mention it. But I just, yeah, it's interesting.
Fossilized remains.
Oh, dear, oh dear. This is online bullying. Oh dear. So I don't know. We haven't heard, apart from the beginning. You know, I think Alan mentioned what he was reading, and a couple of people mentioned their mammoths. If we've got any new people in, we're quite curious as to what you guys are reading this month.
And not Steve. Otherwise, we'll be here for until next week before he gets done his list.
Ah, he's my new buddy. We got a book club together. You can't pick on him.
The Shameful and Malicious Book Club, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
That's an interesting partnership, Sonia. Hello, by the way.
Little Life of Oh, I want to reread Papillon. I've got it here.
How did I know the expression reread was going to come out of your mouth?
Well, I read it before because I loved the film with Steve McQueen, and what's his name? It's a
Dustin
great,
Hoffman.
yeah, Dustin Hoffman. It's a great, where he used to he hid his glasses. You remember where he hid his glasses, right? To smuggle them in.
I could hazard a guess.
Yeah, they folded up so they fit easily. But yeah, no, I love that book.
Maybe a monocle would have been better, no?
Yeah, yeah, but that could get stuck.
True. Maybe pince nez?
Yeah, pinch
Pince
nez.
knees?
But yeah, no, it's a really good book. And well, something that Elizabeth at Bookwins and Book. He mentioned that it's there's some truth in it, and it's like it's a fake biography in a sense, but it's good.
So you're like a Poirot or something, Aaron.
What?
Pogue Mahone.
Never heard of that, so I definitely have not. Won't be a reread of that.
Yeah, I want to reread Pogue Mahone.
Same place.
Hang on, what was that?
Plan, yeah, the plan.
Yeah, as the plan, yeah.
and where I store my books, where the sun doesn't shine. Actually, I only know the death part due to research after watching the Disney version.
Pocahontas. Yeah, but Summer, you should be 500 pages into something else. Hello. I'm just kidding. Take your time.
Wolf Hall, enjoy. Everybody talks about that, but I just don't have an interest in that now. For some reason, I just don't have an interest in it. Historical books. What? No, I'm making fun because we read Lost Illusion, which is basically a historical book, and Alexander Dumas writes historical books.
Yeah, Alexander Dumbass. I caught an STD. I thought you said I caught an STD after reading Wolf Hall. I was like, oh, whose copy did you borrow?
Yeah.
No Mammoths this month. A few Rick Riordan. Hopefully, read at least some of my complete HP Lovecraft. What's happened? Do you like HP Source, Sean?
Yeah, I do. I don't mind it with steak. I don't know what Pog Mahoney is. No idea.
The Pog Mahone. It sounds Irish.
Mahoney. I don't know. Everybody is talking about Wolf Hall. I will be forced to put it on.
Pogue Mahone is a book by Patrick McCabe, so it definitely sounds Irish, I suppose. A swirling, psychedelic, bleakly funny fugue by the Booker shortlisted author of The Butcher Boy and Breakfast on Pluto. Una Fogarty, suffering from dementia, it sounds a barrel of laughs, in a seaside nursing home, would be all alone without her brother Dan, whose epic free verse monologue tells their family story.
Well, that's something I'd have to look at before I'd want to say and read it. Or that he caught in the back room of the cinema in Leeds.
Yeah. I'm actually reading probably next month. I'm gonna go for Tuckman's Distant Mirror, which is frustrating because I know Steve did it in his club. I think, was it back in January? Or was it February? I don't know. I'm all lost now. But I wanted to read it as part of Historathon, so it didn't fit with the date. So I had to kind of put it off and wait. So I'm looking forward to giving that a go.
Yeah, I'm doing Roger's Cheap Old Book Club because I got most of the stuff. I finally found the reprint.
What, you've got a load of cheap old books, have you, Sean?
Yep. Well, yeah. I finally found the Forgotten Planet. It's a reprint from the Armchair Books. So
I didn't have much interest in that, but I'm gonna join in with the next month's one. Yeah.
what's the next? Oh yeah, I found that because I do have another copy of it, but I can't reach it. It's up at the ceiling, and I don't have a step ladder.
That's so bad. Yeah. Dear, oh dear. I'm telling you, ask Jenny to come over and help you out. She's in England, probably. So everywhere in England's just down the road.
Yeah.
Go on, Jen. It'd be
So
so funny, wouldn't it? One day, if like we start the live and who's that in the background? Oh, it's Jenny. She's trying to reach some books for me and send them to the post office.
What was I gonna say? Yeah. Well, okay. So we got the new.
I don't know. I think she's just deliberately chosen the place furthest away and still be in the UK.
Aberdeen. I wonder how people screw up that. Do they screw up the pronunciation of Aberdeen? How could they do that? Edinburgh, it always is.
Aberdeen.
Abin. Yeah, I guess. No, it can't be Abin.
Aberdeen.
Aberdeen. Yeah, I guess so.
Aberdeen.
But it's amazing. Like I live in Bedford, and it's
Bedford.
Yeah, Bedford.
Bedfordshire.
Yeah, but it's so it's Bedfordshire, but Bedfordshire. Sorry, you don't screw me up. But I get a call. I get calls, or I used to get calls from people and they're English people from call centers, and they're saying, "Oh, you live in Bedfordshire," with an English accent, and they don't know how to pronounce.
Because they're young people, probably, and the only place they've heard Shire is from Lord of the Rings, right? So they probably think, because it's not called the Sheer, is it? In Lord of the Rings, it's called the Shire.
Well, it is the Shire. It's like the Shire horse.
Oh, that's the Shire horse. But what? We say Devonshire, Bedfordshire,
yeah,
Hampshire,
etc.
Aberdeenshire. I don't know. Maybe Aaron's closer, so maybe Aaron could come and get your copy of.
Well, as you know, I found my copy of the new Arabian Nights.
Oh yeah,
it's part of my copy because a friend of mine left it here before he moved. He ran away to the Far East. So not ran away, but moved to the Far East. So I got some of the books. What's after that?
Been there.
No, what's after that?
I don't know. I'm not. Ask Alexis. She probably knows. As a big fan of Roger.
Buses and trains, so it shouldn't take too long. The Edinburgh Express.
I'd love to go to Pittsburgh one day.
Pittsburgh? What? Oh, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh in America.
Yeah, well, it's like here. There's Peterborough,
the steel town. Yeah.
Yeah, Peterborough here, but in Canada and Ontario, there's Peterborough. It's spelled the same way, but you don't call it Peterborough. Peterborough. It's Peterborough.
Those crazy English.
We're going to try to pronounce the native place names on the island where I was born. Most people can't do it. They cannot pronounce them at all.
The funny thing is, just to interrupt a second there, I put the link to that story in the chat on YouTube.
I didn't see it.
It didn't come through, so it's obviously censored. That's good to know. Probably thinks I'm offering, live nudes or something. So we'll give it. I mean, the problem is, if you tell us what the place names are, then we know how to say it because we've heard it. But I suppose if you wrote it down for us, we could practice trying to say it. So.
Well, I remember because there was a type site, the one place, and the my professor kept calling it something like Shigunda, and I'm going, what? It's like I didn't know what he, and then he showed, and then he points on the map, and oh, Shagawinda, and it's like totally wrong, or shag for short.
Shag.
Yeah, shag for short.
Okay.
It has a different meaning in Canada, like a shag carpet. It's not a carpet.
I'm sure in Britain, it used to. They had shag for a type of tobacco as well, wasn't there?
Shag, yeah. Well, I don't think it was a type of. I think it was just. Wasn't it just a euphemism or an just another name for?
I don't know. It was before my time. So.
I think it was just. It's a not euphemism, a nickname for it.
I don't know. I always thought it was like a something of something shag, and I don't know.
It might be. I don't know. I always thought it was just a nickname.
I don't know.
Like backy or something like that.
Yeah, fags.
Oh, I remember one time, the first time, like I was working at this place, first place that I worked at in Bedford here at call center, and they had some really young people there, and 14, 15, 16-year-olds, and there was a 15-year-old girl that would always say that she was a smoker, and she would say she's going out to suck on a fag, and I just thought, that sounds so wrong.
Yeah, we mentioned this when I was on with Alan and Greg about these funny things between the different countries. Rough shag's type of fight. Well, omnipotent Poobah is 73 years old, so I'm not surprised that they would know that. I think it was you last week where you said born in 73, and I joked and thought it was 73. I don't know. Probably getting it wrong. My brain's not functioning either, Sean. I think it's contagious.
The which?
Huh?
Sorry, I was reading Aaron's thing, so I tuned you out.
I said my brain's not functioning either. I think it must be contagious.
Well, you had COVID, so
yeah.
Yeah, well, Wales. Well, that's a different planet. That's a different universe, in many ways. It's like I remember the Dark Old House, 1932. James Whale directed it. Boris Karloff is in it, and it's a rainy night, dark and storming. And they're in this car, and they go up to this house, and they bang on the door. They don't know where they are, and Boris Karloff opens the door, slams it, goes, "Yeah, we're in Wales."
Oh dear. Well, be careful. We might be offending some of our Welsh audience.
I'm just repeating what's there. I'm not making any judgments. I'm just repeating. But that was James Whale for you. That was James Whale's input, I think.
So he's James Whale taking the mick out of Wales.
Yeah. Well, he was a British.
He was the fish, not the fish, the mammal. Yeah.
It's a big fish.
Well, it's not a fish. It's a mammal.
No, but the big fish. He could be a big fish.
It was a big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Probably.
What
did he do? What was his famous film, James Whale? I know it's on top of my.
The Bride of Frankenstein.
That's it. Yeah. The Bride of Frankenstein. Yeah, with Gene Wilder and.
No. Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Well, that's like Sean's hair. He's got hot fuzz.
Young Frankenstein is really good. But yeah, I do have to watch the old films to really catch most of the jokes.
Yeah.
But that has the Bride of Frankenstein has Dr. Pretorius on there, which is I forget his name. Very, very camp. Well, he was in the Dark Old House as well. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Another English actor. Very camp. Can you even say camp anymore?
Probably not. Charles Lawton, Boris Karloff, Melvin Douglas.
Yeah.
Robert Morley was in it. Oh wow.
Yeah. Keep going.
Who's the one you mean?
Keep going.
All right, hang about. Do you remember the character's name?
No,
Boris Karloff, Charles Lawton, Gloria Stewart, Melvin Douglas, Elspeth Dungeon, Robert Morley, Bremba Wills, Raymond Massey, Lillian Bond, Evermore, and Ernest Thesiger.
It has to be the last one, doesn't it?
Well, no, because interestingly enough, Elspeth Dudgeon, sorry, Dudgeon. How do you say it? How do you say that? Dudgeon, probably. Her character in the film was a man. So she played Sir Roderick somebody or other. Huh?
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, she played a character called Sir Roderick somebody. So she was obviously playing a man.
But also there's a connection there.
It was a novel by J.B. Priestley.
Yeah, it's a good, the Beloved, but very different.
You're gonna reread it, or
yeah,
Benighted.
That's it. Yeah, really good, but it's very different. What's oh, wait a minute. There's a Titanic connection there too with that film.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned the actress.
Yeah. What about her?
Gloria Stewart in Titanic. She's the old woman at the beginning.
She's the old woman, is she?
Yeah.
Huh. Fascinating. Yeah.
The things you learn on these lives.
There's always these connections. So.
Oh, that's something that I want to look up. There is a connection. I think that'll be an interesting thing in here.
What, between Mysteries of Paris and Titanic?
No, but connection thing.
All right.
Yeah, rabbit hole type thing. So.
Oh wait, you see the rabbit holes. I'm waiting for you to give us some examples.
Yeah, well, like I said, I was going to do it the time that they screwed up my opiates, and
don't spoil it. Save it for a video. You've not made a video this week. It's an outrage.
Oh well, because I've been reading. No,
I know, but it's like
this is my video for the week.
Yeah, but I'm always having to carry you on these things, right? So
yeah, I could kick you out,
You can this week, yeah. I remember that next week. And you're not kicking me out anyway.
I'll kick you out in the boot. With me boot.
Oh dear. Well, I don't know.
Kick you out of me boot. Kick you out in the boot with me boot out of me house.
So I don't know. I mean, there's like 20-something people watching.
Yeah.
But it's gone a bit quiet. So
yeah.
Are we going to call it a night, or are people going to say something?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's just like the comments get stuck at times. And then all of a sudden they pop up. Unless we're just mesmerizing them.
Yes.
Yeah, I will be finished tonight. I only have 100 pages left.
And I'm only 100 pages in. So we're like different. I love Scottish dialect with English accent.
Obviously, she's not talking about me.
I thought he was doing a Canadian accent.
Well, who's?
There was that. Yeah, there is a moose loose about this house.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like a lot of the things that people say Canadians say, it's more Scottish than Canadian.
Yeah, but how many Canadians are Scottish? Loads of them, right? So
Yeah, well, that's Newfoundland.
I used to love. There was a show. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Sean, called Still Game. It's about these two old men, but they're younger than they're made up to be older, living on this like housing estate in Glasgow, and it's just brilliant. It's so much fun.
Oh, no, what I'm thinking of is the James Garner film Skin Game.
Okay, it's probably a bit different.
Well, yeah, because his partner is a black guy, so they go from town to town. He goes in and sells him as a slave, and then he escapes, and then they sort of go to the next town and do
Yeah,
the pawn again.
yeah, it's a bit different.
Yeah,
Me
well,
too. Me too.
I don't do much else. It's like, and this week was good, but I got both eyes working this time as well. So, and this is a really quick read. It's a really quick read.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. It's really good. I think
Well,
actually you would actually quite enjoy it, Sean.
still need to choose a mammoth for March. I've narrowed it down.
Well, Omnipotent Poobah, I hear the recognitions is quite good, and I know where you can get a copy.
I don't really read much American fiction, which would hurt less. I don't know. I don't know. I know the name Infinite Jest for film book Underworld. I don't know. What I'm not sure who that's by.
I think you missed what I said there, Sean. I said
Yes, I know, but he's not in the UK, so
I
I'm not
think he's
getting
in
it.
the UK.
Oh, is
No?
he? I don't. Oh, okay. Mesmerized. Synonymous for. um, if I decide to read a mammoth for March, I'll probably pick up Orlando Furioso, which I don't think most people would consider a mammoth, but it is. I think it depends. The Penguin, I think, is over. Like if you're going to read the two volumes that Penguin put out.
Well, it's like people talking about Middlemarch being a mammoth, and it
Well, it
isn't.
depends on the book. It's
Well,
just
that's
over
it.
800
The
pages. Yeah,
Penguin Deluxe version isn't.
yeah, because it's bigger.
Yeah, but that's
Well,
what I
what is
mean.
it?
This is it's arbitrary, and I don't know who. I mean, was it Jason and co who decided that a mammoth is 800 pages, or was it is it some law in book world that
No, I think that
800 pages is a mammoth?
because to me, 800 pages isn't a huge book.
Yeah, you don't get out of bed for less than 900 pages, do you, Sean?
Yeah.
So
Well, it's like to me, an average size book is sort of 350 to 500 pages. That to me is an average size book. As you get over 600 pages, it's getting a little longer. You know, a big book is over 1,000 pages. Like this is a big book. No if buts or maybes. This is a big book. You know, but it's a big book. Luke,
hi, it's a big
book.
book.
Oh, it's 500. Okay, I thought really. I have to look. I don't know where they seemed very thick though. The Penguin ones, but is it translated in verse or in prose? Your version, because if it's in prose, it'd be shorter, or if it's smaller words, smaller typeface. Don't know.
It's true. I mean, I don't know why. It's one of my bugbears, if that's the right expression. And it's
I
kind
think
of funny.
so.
See what I'm going to say is the use of some words around about. I don't like this tome thrown around willy nilly. It's like trope is another one. Everybody's throwing around willy nilly all over the place. Are you
Yeah, you need to get. You
conscious?
need. No, I'm just considering saying what I'm going to say. You need to get a hunting shotgun, your 12 bore, and go and hunt down these people.
Yeah. Mhm. I did think, because I'm not a big fan of literary prizes, right? And a lot of people were putting up the women's literary prize reaction videos, and I wanted to do, my reaction to it, and I was literally just gonna have me sitting there for like a minute, like, with like a tumbleweed going past. But then, of course, I worried that people, because I'd chosen the women's one instead of the Booker Prize, that people would think it's because it's the women prize. And then I just thought I would just do my reaction video to all literary prizes, because I don't know. I don't really get these things, to be honest. I'm not a fan of any of them. Years ago, I did used to enjoy watching the Booker Prize draw and everything on. I think it was, I can't remember if it was BBC Two or Channel 4 or whatever, but it's just changed, and it's just, I don't know. So I'm actually kind of against a lot of these prizes. It doesn't mean much to me if someone said, "Oh yeah, read this, it won the Booker Prize." Oh, whoop-de-doo, or read this, it won the, I don't know. Does it mean anything to you, Sean?
Not anymore. Older ones generally do. Like I used to follow the science fiction ones, well, for a while, and the older ones, like if they're signed, if they won the Hugo or Nebula Award before, say, definitely before 1975, but before 1980 even, you'd probably say there's probably some reason why they're worth looking at.
Who doesn't? I don't know. We'll probably find out. It's a deeply offensive term that we just didn't know anymore.
What, willy-nilly?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm with you there, Summer.
Lord of the, I'm not sure if that's a joke or is that a real book.
Lord of the Barnyard.
What about the BookTube prize? That's weird to me. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. It's just like, if it's just BookTube people that are picking it and saying it's the best book, I won't say anything more. The Booker has really gone downhill since about 2015. There needs to be a punitive system for people who do reaction videos when they haven't actually read any of them.
I think I started something that should be a craze, which was doing reaction videos to your own videos. It's like I have this person who's I guess has just subscribed to me, and I've been shocked over the last couple of days getting comments on videos 2 years old, right? That actually someone is going back and watching this stuff that I put out 2 years ago, my back catalogue, so to speak. And I was curious, and I went, I clicked on it to watch it, and I was like, oh my god, one, just how, not that I'm looking great at the moment, but just how awful I looked in that video 2 years ago. I was trying to do a tour around the town, and I could barely speak and breathe. I know it was COVID and I was wearing a mask and all this stuff, but I was just like, oh my goodness, such a young novice. It's a real book. Lord of the Barnyard. I'm gonna look it up, but I'm worried it's gonna come up with something else.
That punishment should be flicking water on their face, coupled with very disappointed scalp.
Lord of the Barnyard, killing the fatted calf and arming the aware in the corn belt. I don't know it. Punishment should be flicking water on their face, coupled with a disapproving scowl. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
no, it's just it's funny because well, yeah, I get stuff like that from occasionally with new followers or subscribers. I guess, I don't know, subscriber, follower, whichever you prefer. And yeah, I do get occasionally an old what?
Stalker, I prefer.
Or you get one. Now get this, everybody. Somebody some subscriber of mine was not apparently pleased with me and having monetization. My email is on every, but I guess he didn't want to look at my emails because it's, contributing to my prostitution of money, as he said in the email. He emails Mark to relay to me that he's going to unsubscribe from me. He spells my name wrong, first of all. And because I've prostituted myself for the monetization. It's like, bye-bye.
And the fact we were going to pay you to take your shirt off or something, wasn't it?
Again, if people can't take a joke, then and twist,
Yeah, and they did ask me to pass it on to you, so it's not like I breached any, rules. So, though it is a bit odd. I did think, I mean, why not just tell you themselves?
Why do you even need to tell something if you don't like? Yeah, I just unsubscribe.
It's true, because it was like they're unsubscribing, and again, it's like it's equivalent to like putting that in the comments, isn't it? I'm unsubscribing. Goodbye. Okay, thank you. And often when that happens, it tends to be people you didn't know were subscribed to you already, right? I mean, I would be gutted if anyone in this chat wrote to me and said, "That's it, Mark, I'm unsubscribing." I'll be genuinely upset because it's people I've interacted with. But half the time when these things happen, they never commented, you don't know who they are, and it's like, okay, all right, thank you. What was that about earwax? Oh, yeah.
Max video.
Yeah.
I haven't got paid enough for it yet. Lord of the Barnyard was the less than successful crossover between Animal Farm and all creatures are small. People took offense at the hardcore big chicky woods. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, Aaron.
Oh god, that's priceless. That is priceless. Oh god.
Yeah, that's true, Summer. But I think I've told you as well, if I do, which isn't often, but I do sometimes. Who would think, what is the state of our lives if we are sitting here on a Friday night, got people coming in from all around the world to discuss the state of Sean's earwax? I mean, really, anything can be televised these days, right? Anything can be broadcast. My hair, how my hair is doing today, and Sean's earwax. Oh dear, what a sad state we've come to.
Don't talk about my shirts that are.
I thought it was designed that way for some reason. I don't know. I thought it was like designed to like give you breathing space or something. I don't know. American publishers are afraid of publishing it. What, Sean's earwax?
Well, wait for the branded, the ShawnDStandfast branded earwax candles.
Oh. Do they have? Are they aromatic or?
They probably will be.
Oh, there we go. You have to go private for that.
Yeah, private. No, it just was funny. It was like, I'm sort of been pretty open as to my situation because of COVID. I can't work anymore, and my income it's less than half of what it used to be when I was working. So clearly, any little bit, even the little bit of monetization helps. And I've been open with that because people do ask, like, how am I doing? I'm doing better now than I was. And it's just, that opens you up for all this stuff. They say, oh, well, you shouldn't be doing that.
That's the thing. It's being honest, and maybe arguably too honest, but you're an honest person. You're talking about your life honestly with your only regular human contact, right?
Yeah, basically.
These are your kind of friends now, really, right? So
Yeah. Well,
in
the
terms of
thing
the
is
sphere
like,
and stuff that you're in, and that's what people talk about. So I
'cause-
understand it.
yeah, because like it's clear that if I come on and I'm like the way I was with the COVID, I didn't look well, so people were asking, and it was like, okay,
Well, you're a picture of health now, Sean.
yeah. Well,
At
I
least
but
you can
compared to what
see.
I was, yeah. But yeah, and it's like so when somebody asks me a question, I'm more than willing to answer it, and yeah, so I'm doing whatever I can, like so I can make a little bit every month. So every 4 months or 5 months, I get a little bit of money from um, um, YouTube for the monetization to either buy some more books with, or maybe a new shirt, you know, like some socks and underwear, like I did last fall. They were badly needed. I won't go into the details of that. I won't be too open.
Just thank God this is your channel. I'm glad you keep all this stuff for your channel.
And you have to provide your own musical accompaniment of the stripper. Going back, but forward to watching this in full. Well, there won't be that much more, so
Good
just
night, summer, or good evening, good afternoon. Have a nice sleep. Sweet dreams.
yeah, I always find it strange. Well, the ones that don't sort of interact or never put up comments, which there's lots, they're imaginary because I don't know if they're real. I suppose, but the ones that comment and I interact with, like on here, I do.
You don't consider imaginary.
Yeah, I consider that real, like because imagine, like, I don't know if they're real. I don't know if they're bots.
Well, the
You know,
nice thing is, like, even when, there's different levels, isn't there? So there are people on here we talk to every week. We have
yeah,
no idea what they look like. Not that it matters, of course. We have no idea what they sound like. Again, probably doesn't really matter. We have no idea if they are really who they're saying they are. So we don't know if people who are saying they're female are actually male or vice versa or what. None of that really matters. But then you have the level where we have people who communicate with us audibly or vocally on Voxer or something like that, where we can hear. And then, of course, that builds up the relationship even a bit more, doesn't it? And then there are those that in the end you end up, either they have a channel and we speak to regularly like that, or you maybe Skype somebody, or you have your book club that maybe you see some of these people on Zoom or whatever. So it's different levels, really.
yeah.
The thing
Skype
is,
very
it's
expensive. Let's just put it that way.
it's fun, like, to know that we're going to see the same names pretty much every Friday. And then when someone doesn't turn up, we notice it generally. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like Gerald, bless him,
yeah.
goodness knows what's happened. I often think about him and wonder if he's okay or whatever, because we just
Well,
don't know.
that's the thing, and people do that. Like they do get invested in watch someone if they like them, and then like I didn't put up any videos this week. If I didn't put one up today, I probably would have got some emails, people asking me if I was okay, because like those people are concerned, and it's like like I generally say now that if I don't put up videos, it's usually that if I put up a lot of videos, it's usually I'm struggling with reading. And then when I don't put up videos, it could mean that I'm really ill, which can happen, or I'm really having a good time reading. So I'm using all that time reading rather than making a video, which is sort of bad because that's a bit selfish.
Yeah,
But
but also kind of it's like you're skiving off work, because as you said, if YouTube provides part of your income by not making the videos, you're also losing a bit of income probably, right?
yeah, well, yeah, because the views obviously have dropped, and then like it's dropped now because
That's
it
why
always
when
says,
you make your first video back after having this week off, you need to come back with something controversial to put up your views. You need to come back with your pro-slavery views, or your anti trans views, or whatever you have, right? Or
whatever it is, I'm against it.
But you see, this is again, in this respect, this YouTubing malarkey can be quite similar to Lost Illusions again, because you could, we could agree beforehand that you're going to be talking about how such and such was right, and Mark, you're going to be talking about how it was wrong, and we can agree it all beforehand, right? So,
but yeah, no, it's just I did notice like my views roughly stay about the same in total for like it goes to 28 day period, but then it says estimated uh earnings quotation mark. And I noticed that when I don't do videos, it drops. Like every day it drops, because it's that next day that I've hardly had any views, it's in the pool of the 28.
well, I'm new to this, obviously, but I have noticed, of course, different videos do earn different amounts.
Yeah.
And I don't mean just because of the views. I mean the money advertisers pay for certain videos or topics or whatever does vary across.
And you get twice as many views as I do. Generally, you've been on your videos. You're getting twice as many views, at
Because I'm
least.
twice as wonderful.
Well, we can argue.
But but again, it's the strange thing, isn't it? When you have almost twice as many subscribers as I have, right? So I don't know how many people just watch me and think, maybe a lot of people watch me and think, oh, what a load of rubbish. I'm not subscribing to that idiot. If that's where it's coming from, I don't know.
Is that the real reason you want us to all start channels?
Why?
So well, we
could all get some extra money. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we could create this thing of arguing with each other and creating. So Jenny, you start a video, and you and I or Mark and you can get into some real nasty online fighting.
And, but it is funny, these things. I was watching.
I'm sure it happens.
I was watching something the other day. It popped up. I can't remember what it was. Well, it was a while ago, but it was about how to get your YouTube channel or something to 1,000 subscribers. And I just thought, this sounds interesting. I'm curious, right? And I went into the chat, and of course, being like that kind of topic, it had like, I don't know, maybe 2,000 people in the chat. And all I was thinking was that the easiest thing in the world is everybody just subscribes to everybody else in the chat, and it's jobs are good. And it's like, I don't know. But obviously, in that case, then it just shows, if you say I have more views than you have more subscribers than me, it just shows the whole thing is just like,
Well, that's what I mean. Like, are those subscribers actually, they're obviously not watching. The other subscribers are not watching stuff. And are they real?
The funny thing is, I mentioned this woman who commented on a video of mine 2 years ago, right? She commented today on a video I made 2 years ago. And when I looked, I saw in the comments, and there was a list of names I haven't seen for ages, right? Around about my channel. So I think, well, they obviously stopped watching me, or maybe they unsubscribed. But then I clicked on one of them and found I was subscribed to them. And I thought, well, I haven't seen anything from them for a while. And then I went into their videos, and they'd released something like 3 days ago, and they'd released something like 5 days ago, and I had never seen it. I am sure we are not seeing a lot of things on. I mean, you go through your subscription feed and it gives you like videos for that day, but obviously it doesn't. And I must be, I don't know how many people I'm actually subscribed to, but I'm not seeing some of these videos. And then I was like, that's a shame.
Aaron, I'm not sure if you understand what I say. The people that I interact with, like you and here, and people that make comments, I know are real, but the one I'm not sure if that came across clear. It's the ones that, like I say, I've got however many subscribers, and I never hear from them. Are they actually real? I don't know.
Hi Yuri, sorry I didn't see there.
Yeah, I just wanted to go to that one first. Yeah, Yuri. Yeah, still packing your library. That'll be me. That'll take me a long time when I get around to doing that. Alexis, what do you mean? Like, I'm Al, or is that AI?
AI.
Oh, okay.
And obviously, Alexis is getting bored of just the two of us. She wants us to bring in guests. I was thinking we should ask Brandy again, actually, or I don't know. Who would you like to see? Who would you like to see? Put in the comments. Who would you like us to bring on? And we'll probably get things like, you know, some celebrities or something. Could you imagine?
See, the biggest problem is our timing for this, because to get Friday to get American booktubers, because they got something stupid like a job work, you know, and that's the thing. Brandy is great, but it's like she might be working Thursday night, you know, and that doesn't quite.
Well, yeah, I mean, we just saw Summer there. You know, she's
Yeah,
what is it? I mean, it's afternoon for her, but she's heading
yeah.
off
I'd
to bed.
love to have.
She works a night shift. You know, so
Love to have her on to talk about Les Miserables or something like that, or anything. I agree with Mark. The whole stat stuff is just made up, like the income numbers retail has. Yeah.
I think that's right, Nicole. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to like, I would occasionally go to somebody like you say, Mark, and I haven't seen anything from it, and it says I'm unsubscribed.
I haven't had that,
I
but
get that a lot. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. I just wasn't sure. It makes me even more. Yeah. My sanity is at threat all the time. Pimple cleaning.
flea pits and all, right? Yeah, because the last time, or I think it was last time we were on your channel, we were talking about the pimple popping videos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one my friend likes, a friend of mine likes, is the
a friend of mine.
toenail clipping one, and that's just
Oh.
too out there for me.
Oh, grim.
Yeah, I'd love to get
Yeah, you see, you've chosen all the Americans. It's difficult. Or Jason, we've had Jason on.
Yeah.
Before. Criminoli, yeah, I mean, he does do lives now. He might do it. You've had Michael K. Vaughan. You've had Alan. Did you get Jason on Desert Island?
Yeah. Jason.
You
Yeah.
got Jason, and you had Juan as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Criminali, not, and Shelley, not on the.
Is that Shelley? Is that Shelley, i.e. Shelley Swearingen, or is that a different one called Swears Larrington? Because there's the comma.
I think that's that's the autocorrect.
Probably.
Yeah, Roy Reed said, yeah. I was thinking of that, but he's putting a hold on his videos for now. He's not doing too many. Oh, what's the other guy that's new? I thought you were going to ask him. Oh, what's his name?
Yeah, Alex Unabridged. He seems
yeah.
nice. Yeah. Yeah, you should check him out if you're not subscribed to him. He's a charming person, and only has, I think, I don't know if they've even got over 50 followers yet, but their output is quite good. So
see, it's the biggest problem is like the thing with like Alan and Greg do, because they can we can do, I guess, on the weekend anytime, I suppose, but still it's kind of hard to do after a certain point at night for both of us, like at least our time night. So that makes it a little difficult.
yeah, I mean, when I was on, well, it wasn't live, it was recorded, but you know, when I did that video with Shelley, it was, I think, 3 or 4 p.m. for me. It was like 9 a.m. for her, and that worked out. That was a Saturday morning, but
is that going to be aired at some point, or
sorry,
is that going to be aired at some point, or
it's been aired. It was like last Sunday or Sunday before last Sunday. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see it.
Uh,
I haven't seen any videos
I
from her.
shared it on the community tab.
I've got to go. Like I hardly see anything. I'll occasionally see things like Alan shares a lot of music videos, and I'll see some of those. But I don't see like you put up stuff. Brandy puts up stuff. Other people put up stuff on their community tab. I don't see it unless I'm told, and I have to go to their community tab. It is not in my feed. It is not in my feed.
You see, I'm sure Michael Cavorn would do it, but again, it's his job, and he's also on the West Coast, which is even more difficult to pin down. And
I
he
think
can only he
what we
can
could
only really
find.
do 2 days, can't he? And it doesn't really work out.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, because it's like
Who is there? I mean, is there anyone else in Europe? I mean, there are quite a few English ones, aren't there? We could, yeah, we could ask Roz maybe from
why
Slow
not?
Down
Why
about
not
the books, or
any of you? Because if you don't
why
want
not?
you don't need to show yourself on camera. You can not use the camera and just the sound.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. It'd be great to have any of you guys on there. That's right. Yeah, you don't need to show your face. You could just put on a little, what do you call it, avatar or something, and just use your voice. Maybe you want to disguise your voice or get your voice spoken by an actor.
But yeah, so that's the thing. Like Aaron, come on and read your stories.
Did we have Alan on at Christmas Eve?
I think I think I did, or was that New Year's Eve? I can't
I
remember
don't
now.
remember.
I had
I don't
Alan
remember.
doing something. I remember something Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, but I don't remember fully. But yeah, no, that's possible.
Well, we
Yeah,
could ask. John again. Actually, he's usually willing to come on. He's great fun.
yeah, yeah. Well, there's other ones in the Historathon. What's her name? The Passages of Time or whatever.
Erica, yeah, we should get
Yeah,
her
she'd
on.
be really good.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have to gear it to sort of history. I think. I don't think she'd probably stand for our shenanigans.
Yeah, we'll probably get in trouble if we mentioned half the stuff we do. So yeah, I mean, we've had Steve on as well, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although Steve's been rather rude and not returned the invitation, has he?
Yeah. Just trying to let me go through my doohickeys here. My doohickey.
Phrase you don't hear very often.
Let's see, who do I have here?
We go through your address. You going through your address book, or
we could do? Yeah, I could do Aaron. See if Aaron wants to do it because he's local-ish.
Aaron Facer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd
except
be nice.
Maybe my jokes about whales might you might say no, but yeah, Alex unbridged. Unabridged. Sorry, unbridged. Unabridged.
We got Becky, Teacup, the storyteller. She's in up north, isn't she?
Yeah, that's possible. But I didn't do I didn't finish the.
Oh, you bowed out. You DNF'd Three Musketeers, Sean.
And I'll be finishing. I haven't DNF'd it. Could have Amy back, but no, not on a Friday. That's the thing.
Well, we'll let everybody think about it and come up with some suggestions. But do bear in mind, as I say, that unfortunately, a lot of the times our American friends, it's not that easy. And Sean and I are both getting on, and we don't really want to stay up till midnight just to do it, even though, of course, it would be nice. But maybe if we got like in the summer, I'm happy to do it actually, to be more flexible because I don't have to get up for work. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I actually asked Cinephile, Cinephil.
Cinephil, yeah, Phil, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm trying to see anybody else that's in this neck of the woods.
I mean, we've had a few. We had what was it? We had Micah, didn't we? We had Steve. We had We had Jason. I don't know if we had Mark Richardson back. We did do a special show with him once, but I don't
Yeah,
think
we're gonna have to do another one. But that's probably in the summer about the archaeology next year.
Can I host it again?
Well, you can be in the center.
Yeah, I wanted to be the moderator. I really enjoyed that. And we spent almost as long talking off the live as we did doing the live, and it was like 3 hours long, the live. So
I'm just trying to see who else there is here.
well, Greg could be possible because Greg's retired. He could probably jump in with us sometime. That'd be fun.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't had him on. We should do that.
Uh,
Anyway, I suppose we could really stop it now, and we
yeah.
can talk about it there. I don't think necessarily everybody wants to watch us try to plan out our next few episodes. Oh dear! Unless they like us so much they could watch us doing anything. Maybe they just want to watch you sleeping, Sean.
Now that's creepy.
Yeah, people used to do that.
Well, no, there used to be, in the early days of the internet, where you'd have the camera up in your living room or something like that. It'd be constant, and they pay a fee to actually watch your life unfold.
That's your OnlyFans there, right? So,
well, that's probably where it came from.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we're over 2 hours now. So, Alexis here. Steve being rather rude is another statement. Ooh. Anyway, thanks everybody for stopping by.
Been a pleasure. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend, one and all.
And get reading.
Yeah, thanks. I will.
Night.
A good night. Bye-bye.